What's up, Bro Nation? It's your boy, Bro Schmo, just in case you did not know so. And today we're talking about Antonio Brown, AB baby, the meme himself. And this is actually part 2 in a series I'm doing with 319 Sports. He's a YouTuber, he's an inspiring sports journalist, so go show him some love. You gotta respect the grind. He reached out to me, he was like, hey, you wanna do a video? And I was like, heck yeah! And I said it just like that, typed it up verbatim. It was a mess. But he goes over Antonio Brown's career, his career problems with the Steelers, because he's a big Steelers fan, and I'm going over it with the Raiders because the Dolphins haven't been doing anything for me lately. But I'm a big Antonio Brown fan. I love AB. He's been a fantasy god for me, and I want to just preface the video with I love Antonio Brown. He's among the best at his position currently, and probably of all time, but it doesn't mean that he's not a problem. I mean, let's go over a little bit at the end of his Steeler career where the marriage kind of fell apart, because AB and the Steelers officially ended in March of 2019, and all the signs were there in week 16 when Big Ben and AB go into a heated dispute where AB throws a ball at Ben. Then he proceeded to skip practice for the rest of the week. He gets suspended for the final game of the season, in which they lost. They don't make the playoffs. Now, it doesn't end there, because Juju was named the Steelers MVP, and AB won't happy. AB was not having any of it. He was like, bye Felicia, I'm gone. And he even took some shots at Juju, which Juju's been a big fan of AB throughout his whole life, and he was so honored, he felt privileged to play with Antonio Brown to get that opportunity. So he was really hurt when that happened. Now, from there, it was a task and a half to trade Antonio Brown. They thought they had a deal with the Bills until AB was like, "Aw, nah, aw, heck nah. Don't send me there. Don't punish. You can't put. I'm Antonio Brown. You can't punish me like that." So that fell apart, and at this point, the Steelers, they just gave him away for pennies, for dimes, for nickels, for the best wide receiver in football. They managed to get a whole 3rd and 5th round pick in the 2019 draft. What? They literally, it was like they just auctioned him off for free. So obviously, those antics that he put up with the Steelers, that they had to put up with, they wouldn't follow him to Oakland, right? Well, let's just take a look at the plethora of issues Mike Mayock and John Gruden have had to face. First, you got Helmetgate, which produced some of the best memes ever. I mean, you gotta love when Space Nuts is in a meme. It's just good stuff. So the NFL had a new policy that officially went into effect for all players this season. Guys like Tom Brady would have to stop wearing or stop using their long-time helmets and be forced to wear new ones. Brady was like, okay, well, this sucks, but whatever. But not Antonio Brown. He's a fantasy god. He will not be having any of this. He openly clashed with coaches during OTAs over this whole helmet issue. AB stormed out of camp, and then he attempted to sneak his helmet into camp several times. He painted it. Like, gotta admit, man's got commitment. Well, they didn't like this, and there were several exchanges between AB and the Raiders coaching staff, and they thought this whole thing would be past them by summer break. Nope, got that wrong. So he basically tried to bring that sucker back on the field. It didn't go well. And Brown made it clear that he didn't need football. He didn't need football and would quit if he couldn't wear his helmet. Now, the Raiders have financial recourse if Brown were to do this. Well, in the midst of all this, Brown would go down with an injury that was listed as day-to-day. Now, questions swirled over what this injury could be. Then AB, being AB, posted a picture of the gruesome, the horrific, the terrible injury he had suffered. And I'm going to blur it out because it is nasty. It is nasty. Now, basically, he got frostbite on his feet. From what? From what, you may ask? How? Well, it wasn't climbing Mount Everest. He went into a cryotherapy machine wearing improper footwear. Like what? Like, you serious? Like, what was it? Casual dress Tuesday? He threw on some flip-flops, said, I'm gonna go hit the cryo machine. Like, what the heck? So you gotta be like, why? AB, why? Why would you do that? So he went, saw a foot specialist, and basically he was good to go. He was good to go. He was limited in preseason snaps, but most star athletes are nowadays. And it looked like this whole thing was gonna be behind everybody, that AB was gonna be good for the season. And despite a weird offseason, they thought everything was going to be okay. And I think Jason Moore from Fantasy Footballers, he put it best to describe what Antonio Brown is. He's like the wizard from The Wizard of Oz. He's crazy. He's a crazy man. Maybe even legally insane, but he gets the job done. And we can't doubt that. Let's take a look at some of his career-long statistics. In 9 seasons, he has 837 receptions for 11,207 yards and 74 touchdowns. Now, that averages out to 93 receptions for 1,245 yards and 8 touchdowns per season. He's a great wide receiver. And if we probably Mike Mayock and John Gruden, like, if we can make him happy and put him on the field, then we're gonna be okay. Then Mike messed up. Mike messed up. He fined Antonio Brown. Dude, you messed up, Mike. How can you? And this is what happened. Like, what were you thinking, Mike? Like, it's fine disciplining other players, but this is Antonio Brown. He is a fantasy god. I know. I've had him for like 3 seasons. You think a god will take this lion down? Nah, man. Brown immediately posted this sucker on, I believe it was Twitter, could have been Instagram, but he posted a letter of Mike Mayock's of his letter that he sent AB that included the amount and the reason he was fined. Then AB continued to handle this with class. He told Mike basically this past Thursday he would hit him in the face, and then proceeded to punt a ball. And that really let Mike have it, man. Punted a ball? They must have saw that punt and been like, man, this whole time you could be our punter, AB. You could be receiving a punter. We could have saved a roster position. We don't need a punter. We had AB this whole time. As long as you make him happy. What are we talking about? Guess who has the most to lose out of this? It's AB, on top of millions of fantasy owners. Got to get your stuff together, Antonio Brown. I'm relying on you. You're supposed to be a wide receiver 1. Yeah. But anyway, so this could lead to suspension, but on top of that, he could actually lose some, if not all, his guaranteed money in this contract, which is $30 million. And I'm starting to think AB might be a diva. Nah, that ain't it. Now, I think eventually Antonio Brown will play for the Raiders. He'll come to his senses. And even if he doesn't, just think about this. You went out for a star player, Oakland. You got him on a bargain. You have to cut ties, you cut ties. It is what it is. Now, at the time I was editing this video, news came up. AB basically came out with team captains, and he gave an emotional apology to the team. Now, there's a good chance he won't be suspended for all this, and I think this brings up a good subject of one of the articles I saw while researching this, and I'll leave a link in the description below. But Connor Toole on brobible.com says that Brown may have a serious case of CTE, and if you're unfamiliar with CTE, basically it's a progressive degenerative disease of the brain found in people with a history of repeated brain trauma. So athletes, this is a big hot button issue in the NFL for the past few years now. Now I won't go into the details of why they think this may be the case, because Connor does a really good job on that. So check out the link in the description below. Like I said, he does a good job in the article, so check that out. But I mean, if this is the case, man, this is something serious. As big of a meme as Antonio Brown is, CTE is nothing to joke about, and he has taken some critical hits over his career, and we have seen, especially through the course of the last 2 seasons, a dramatic behavior change in Antonio Brown. So I just want what's best for AB, man. I just want him, just want what's best. This is not speaking from fantasy owner bro schmo. This is speaking from the heart, man. AB, get yourself checked out, man. Breaking news, more breaking news. Saturday morning, right? I have the video ready, and then this breaks out that after his emotional apology to his team, the team management decided to strip him of his guaranteed money, and Antonio Brown's like, goes on Instagram, release me, I'm done with this. He releases a video of a private conversation between him and Gruden. It's only audio, but I didn't know Antonio Brown had a YouTube. Like, what? Yo, go check that out. But yeah, so the Raiders were like, all right, forget this, we're just gonna cut our losses, and he doesn't have to be claimed on waivers. He is officially a free agent, so Antonio Brown could choose wherever to go. And tell this new video because no hole in the shirt, and I got the Dolphins cap because I'm excited. I mean, sure, Antonio Brown might be a problem, but the Dolphins, this season is gonna be a wash if we can get Antonio Brown in Miami. And what? Signed with the Patriots.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
For how much? 1 year, $15 million.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Anyway, that's it for the video. Hopefully you had a good time, but again, go check out part 1. I'm gonna leave it in a little card up here. I'm gonna leave it at the end. It's in the description. And give 319 Sports some love, man. He's gonna be making some cool content in the next few months. But until next time, y'all be easy, my friends. Later.